The funny thing is I tell people all the time too, aspiring wrestlers, you never know when your break will come or how it will come. And mine came after spending all this time with Dallas and us pitching some ideas and stuff. And back then, I mean, he really did live like 3 houses down from Bischoff. And we were at the big mall in Atlanta, and we were Christmas shopping. And literally, it was like December 23rd, like a couple days before Christmas. And Kimberly was there, Dallas's wife, and she went off with her. I think her parents were there. They went off shopping, and me and Dallas were shopping. And we stopped at the California Pizza Kitchen in the food court to eat. I mean, it's amazing how I remember all this. And because it was such a defining moment in my life. And so we're sitting there, and we're both eating a slice of pizza back when Paige would actually eat pizza that wasn't gluten-free and all that stuff. And we're sitting there, and I said, Paige, I'm thinking about adding some martial arts to my stuff in the ring. And he's got a mouthful of pizzas. Paige would always talk with food in his mouth. And absolutely. He goes, bro. Yeah, him. He goes, bro. He goes, well, that'd be great if you knew some of that crap. But he didn't say crap. He said the word that Paige would usually say. And I said, Paige, I do. I said, I think I told you that. I've been studying since I was like, 15 years old. And he's like, I never knew that. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, Bischoff said all that stuff too. And I was like, I never knew that. And so, long story short, I gave him a bunch of information on that. He said, let me take this back to Bischoff. So he goes back, talks to Bischoff. Did Paige know that Bischoff had already started, because of Turner having a hand in the Mortal Kombat, producing I don't want to say how they had in producing the film, but I know obviously they produced the TV show because it ran on TNT or TBS One. So anyway, so they were basically like, they'd come to WCW and said, can we bring this, the popularity of this into the wrestling ring? And so once Paige told Eric all that kind of, piqued his interest a little bit. So he basically said, well, let's get through the holidays and, first week of January, let me get in front of him and let's talk to him. And so Paige basically scheduled a meeting for me. It was around the first week or so of January of '96. And I met at this little steakhouse right in their neighborhood. I think it might have been a Longhorn Steakhouse or something. And I go in, and Eric's sitting at the table by himself near the back of the restaurant. I go sit down, and for almost 3 hours, we had a great connection right off the bat because of all the martial arts stuff. So we talked about everything under the sun, but I really felt like I was, being kind of interviewed too. And sure. At the end of the conversation, and we had dinner and everything, he says, it happened like this. He said, even though Dallas had a tape of mine of some matches, as far as I know to this day, Eric never watched that. And he just said, are you still, he said, I want to sign you to a contract to WCW. And I said, really? And he said, really? And he said, are you still wrestling on the independent wrestling thing? And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I want to pay you to totally disappear from the independent wrestling scene. I thought first thing I said, I can do that.
Of course.
And,
it's like the best job opportunity ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And at the time, I'd actually left teaching because my mentor, Chip Smith, who has been a mentor of mine since I was about 15 years old as well, huge sports performance coach. He actually became the athletic director of the Atlanta Athletic Club, which is one of the most prestigious country clubs in America. And one of the oldest, most prestigious. He brought me on as his fitness director. So even though I said yes that night, and I was pretty confident he was going to offer me a pretty good deal, I needed to hear more of the details because I was like, I got this really good job working with someone I really, really admire. Although I want to chase this wrestling dream, it's got to be the right deal, And so anyway, he said, we'll be in touch. And he said, I don't want you to quit your job. Keep working your job as if nothing happens. Just keep this between us. And obviously Paige will know about it, whatever. And so that's, this was in the infancy of the internet. So Eric was really big on trying to keep secrets from the wrestling world. And
from the boys.
And from the boys. And so what happened was, I had mentioned to him in that conversation that, because the first thing was, I don't know how we're going to, develop these costumes. And he had already told me in that meeting about Ernest Miller, because Ernest was the instructor to his kids, his son and his daughter. They were taking karate lessons for him. So he always saw Ernest as being one of the people in the group. And so, I mentioned to him that there was a guy that I knew was a special effects artist in Atlanta named Andre Freitas, who owned AFX Studios. And basically, I put they were in touch with each other, and he hired Andre to be the one to create the the whole look for each one of us, and so that started the whole wheel in motion there.
I hope you got a nice piece of the action on that deal, because Andre got loaded.
Yeah, listen, Andre made more than all of us.
I hope he at least took you out for a drink and a nice dinner or something. Jeez, I didn't know you were the one. I didn't know you were the one who put it. Andre made more money than anybody but Hulk Hogan, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he really did. I mean, he walked away pretty good. But yeah, and I still know Andre. Andre's a great guy. He's still doing very well in Atlanta, obviously with the TV and film production exploding up there.
Right.
But yeah, so but that was the really cool thing was Eric was really big on doing what we ended up calling the midnight meetings, and we would meet at the studio, and Eric would come over there. A lot of times he'd ride over on his motorcycle, and Paige would be there, and it'd be me and Eric, me and Ernest, Chris Canyon, Brian Clark, and of course Jim Mitchell became Vandenberg. So it was pretty cool to be at that point where everybody was guessing on what was going on, and we were really kind of the only ones who were in the know. So it was a pretty cool time for all that.
So these meetings were before you actually debuted?
Oh yeah. Even up until about the time the vignette started airing, we would still do the midnight meetings. And
so
they weren't always at midnight.
So you had it all.
Night,
so you guys, they had it all planned out before you even debuted with Wrath and Ernest and Chris and. Wow, I didn't know that. That's an interesting story. I kind of thought that just evolved. I didn't realize that you guys had that. We're actually having a meeting.
Yeah, we put it all together way ahead of time, and it was all worked out. And I will say, I mean, Eric basically said, "Look, I want to keep this very much under the radar, so I can't really have creative or the booking committee do anything. You guys have to come up with it. I'm going to put it all on you." So all of a sudden, we're like, "Oh, holy cow!" That